Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK Journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the Supreme Arena defenses I've come up with for this week, leading it off with the free-to-play set of teams. So the free-to-play team number 1 is going to be a Callan, Theodore, Siren combo with the Greyborn Phantomal, Spirit Marking Siren. This is just a really strong team, taking good advantage of Siren's AoE debuffs to trigger the Greyborn Phantomal effect. And then we also have Nero to take an enemy Lily May interruption. Siren is going to be able to go off pretty immediately into the match with his ultimate, and Callan is going to provide great protection for the team. Bulwark Spell is great here because we have shielding from Callan, from Theodore. And so some bonus shielding is going to be granted to the Nero, and that will just make him tankier overall. So overall, I think this is a very good team you can run. If needed, for example, Callan should be able to work, even at lower copies potentially. But ideally, its Supreme Plus skill with the upgrade is the sweet spot for him. If you really don't want to use Callan, you want to use some other hero, I would say probably Velka should be fine. She's also going to be a shielder, and she is going to be tanking a bit for your team. So definitely, I think that could be a decent option, but Callan by far is going to be the greatest option here, protecting the entire team. Okay, team number 2 is going to be our Pandora Shmira combo with the resonating spell onto Shmira to boost her damage even further. This map effect is really going to benefit Shmira, allowing her to have that additional survivability, which is really needed for her. Like, the major problem with Shmira in PvP right now is that she takes a bit of time. She's not actually an ultimate and then immediately win the game. Is that she needs to ultimate and survive long enough for her ultimate to kill the enemies, and that is where the trouble lies. But because she's going to be protected by this map effect, that's going to provide more time for Shmira to burst the enemy team, and so this is going to be even more effective. Pandora Charms buffing up Shmira. We have the Bloom Mother Phantomal buffing up Shmira. Ultimate damage, we have Ravion further buffing up Shmira and providing some protection. Iron to take an enemy Lily May interruption, and if they don't have Lily May, then Iron Almas combo is going to crowd control them for a pretty good amount of time. And that is the whole team plan that we have here, and it should work out well for you. Okay, moving on to team number 3. Yeah, the maps this week were really awkward in Supreme Arena. Both map 2 and map 3 are just not ideal for a lot of comms, but we did come up with a pretty good lineup over here. We're going to be using Shadewing, and you might be thinking, well, what if your Shadewing is not high copies? The thing is, Shadewing is so good at triggering the Phantomal, Greyborn Phantomal effect that honestly, I would run Shadewing even if he's at lower copies, even if he's not fully built up. And definitely, if you have a Mythic Plus or higher, then he's definitely good enough to run a team, and he can even beat some high Paragon teams just because of how strong he is with the Greyborn Phantomal. We're gonna have Damon buffing up the Greyborn Phantomal. We have Blue Twin on the right, Pink Twin on the left, buffing up Greyborn Phantomal and Ludovic for that healing onto the twin, and then eventually he's going to spread it around. And Lily May just is another solid hero here to interrupt the enemy and deal some damage. Now, if you have Celise, I would definitely recommend running Celise rather than Lily May. Celise will be better, all things equal. However, Lily May can also work, and I know there are some free-to-play players out there who don't have Celise built up yet. And Celise is really a hero who you want to be kind of at Supreme Plus or minimum Mythic Plus before you try using her. And that is going to be with the Light Tail spell for added protection. That is going to be a great option. Okay, so moving on to mid team number 1, we're going to have Nero Callan combo again. This is exactly the same as a free-to-play lineup, and actually this is also going to be not on the same map, but there's also the team of 5 I'm running even in my pay-to-win lineup. It's just really effective having Siren buffed up by the Greyborn, marked by the Greyborn Phantomal, having Nero to take an enemy Lily May interruption. It's just overall very synergistic, and Callan here for the shielding and protection. So definitely I recommend you run this team. It will work out well for you, or it should. Moving on to team number 2, this is going to be a Baelran team. I'm really liking Baelran in PvP right now. I feel like one of the reasons I like him is that he's kind of resilient. He doesn't die easily, and he doesn't get countered by contests easily either, because he still keeps smashing the enemies or having a high health pool that the enemies are just not able to break through him. And then further boosting him up with the melee damage boost of, for example, Rowan. And Rowan is a great ally for Baelran because Rowan will give his potions onto Baelran to allow him to boost his health immediately. And then we have Skycross Phantomal giving the damage reduction buff onto Baelran further, and also just buffing up the whole team. Twins buffing up Baelran, and then you have Skycross Phantomal. Celise is a great ally as well for Baelran for that healing, for that health increase, and even after Celise dies, the health increase is still permanent, and some of that healing is also permanent. So Celise is going to be a great ally here, and Light Heal spell for more healing, more vitality, and then finally Aurora. Aurora is also a pretty strong hero for PvP content. She basically gets value throughout the whole fight, just with her summons, dealing pretty high damage. She's not targetable, so she's invincible while she's sleeping, and also eventually she can even transform into the plushification zone and transmogrify, basically transform the enemies, making them ineffective for some period of time. Yeah, I think that this is a really good team. This is the more budget version of a Baleran team combo because it's not using Ulna. You're gonna see in the pay-to-win team lineup, we are gonna be using Ulna. We're gonna be showing everything, but Ulna is a very good ally as well for Baleran. That's one thing you want to keep in mind. Okay, so there we have this team. Team number 3 is going to be, again, the Shadewing team combo. We're going to have Damon buffing up Graveborn Phantom. We have the Ludovic here healing up the Graveborn Phantom. And then we just have Ravion Lilymay in the back. Just because Ravion and Lilymay are strong PvP heroes, a lot of people do have them invested even to Paragon tiers. And so I definitely wanted to make use of them. Now, Ravion here is not maybe getting the most value because like buffing Shadewing is not really the greatest hero target. However, buffing Lilymay always is a good target. And Ravion himself, he'll provide some survivability. He'll provide some of his own damage, and Lilymay should hit pretty hard and also interrupt enemies. We're gonna have the Earth Shell as well, just because this is a really strong artifact. I didn't want to go without running it because it's just really good stats, and also the damage reduction is really useful. However, if you wanted to go for a more offensive artifact, I could see reasoning behind going for Star Shower spell, but the thing is, your Graveborn Phantom hits so hard that you kind of don't need that. But like even Mana Wave spell I think wouldn't be a bad choice because that also gives some damage reduction. But I've just locked in the Earth Shell spell. So that's gonna be it for the mid teams. And before we move on to the pay-to-win teams, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thank you all so much for the support. Okay guys, so here we have pay-to-win team number 1, and this is going to be the Baleran Elna combo. Now we're going to be running it with Faye because actually Faye and Rowan, they both have advantages to be run with Baleran. They both give that melee damage boost to the Baleran. However, the thing about Faye is her healing, she provides a healing gemstone buff as well to the target in front of her, which is going to be the Baleran here, and that's kind of like a permanent effect even if Faye dies, or at least for some period of time, and that can really help the Baleran healing. It provides just some buffs, and I think overall that's why I'm running Faye. Although definitely Rowan would do almost the same job here, so I know a lot of people don't have Faye and you can just run Rowan here, but I'm going to be trying Faye this week and I think it should be pretty good. Skyclaws Phantom also buffing and giving damage reduction to Baleran, and then we have Gunner Contest in the back. Now the thing is, if you're running a comp like this, you don't necessarily even have to run Gunner and Contest. You could just run Aurora, for example, and get the Celestial Hypogean Phantom and then throw in some other final hero. But Gunner Contest is just a really solid team combo for PvP right now, because Contest is protected by the Gunner, and then you have Bulwark spell. You're going to have a lot of shielding going on in the team. It is overall a very strong team. And so Gunner Contest along with Baleran, I've been running it even in regular arena, in duel battle, and it is defeating most top tier PvP teams I do come across, or at least has a potential of defeating them. And so I think this is a really good combo. It's really for Supreme Arena, I'm really liking Baleran a lot more now, you know, with the all-in protection, due to the fact that like he's not really shut down as hard by Contest as other heroes like Saida and things like that. I think Baleran is his time to shine, and Faye or Rowan can both work behind him like we mentioned. And Bulwark spell, yeah, for the shielding and also vitality that it provides. Okay, moving on to team number 2, we're going to have the Theodore Siren combo, which I told you guys, but we're going to be running on map 2 this time. Now, this is really useful because you're going to have Graveborn Phantom and Siren both protected with the map effect, and those are your main damage targets, like you want them to survive. Theodore is going to be boosting energy of Siren, Nero is going to be taking an enemy Lilymay interruption, we have Callan to be protecting basically the whole team apart from Siren, but he is protected by the map effect, and then we have Bonnie as well, just to apply your debuff, and then hopefully Graveborn Phantom, Nero, Siren, they can all spread it. We're going to be running it with the Earth Shell spell because, again, you don't need to go for a damage artifact. The Graveborn Phantom, Siren Nuke is going to be hitting so hard. It's just better to have, you know, a more defensive artifact, and that's why with these Graveborn teams, I just try to go for a defensive artifact just to protect the team, because really your risk of losing is if your team dies. It's not really lacking the damage. It's never really lacking the damage. It's never really going to be an issue. Okay, finally, team number 3 is going to be our Zoria Pandora comp. We have the Graveborn Phantom buffing up Shadewing in the back, Damon buffing up your Graveborn Phantom, and then we have Athalia, who's going to be damaging throughout the whole fight. We have Zoria in the back, and like we said, Zoria can work at Supreme Plus. this, you honestly don't even need her higher than that. So even if you have her there, you can run her. She's just a stroller hero. And Pandora, honestly, Pandora is not needed for this comp. Even Athalia, not necessarily needed. Athalia just has great value along with a hero like Zoria, who's going to be strolling the fight out for a long time. The thing is, if, for example, you don't have Zoria, you don't have Athalia, you can go for a different comp. You can run any other hero. You could run Igor here, for example, as a stroller, and just rely on the Graveborn Phantomal and the Shade Ring, basically damage to be nuking the enemy team, Damon protecting it. You can run that. Ludovic also is a Graveborn which is not being used, and he's a strong Graveborn hero. You could try running him in a comp like this, or you can throw in whichever other heroes you have basically left over. Even Celeste is left over. Honestly, like even if you didn't have this, for example, I would go for a team. Would I even go for Igor? I don't even know if I would go for Igor, because, like, you know, if we just have a lot of healing from Ludovic plus Celeste, for example, I think that a team like this would be really deadly. And then you can add in a fifth hero, whatever you want, and, like, it's not using Athalia, it's not using Zoria, but it's still going to be extremely strong. And I think definitely a good team worth running. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully it is helpful. If there's any other team or team set that you want to share, you can feel free to copy paste your formation ID, share it in the comment section. As always, appreciated and interested to see your team comps. But thank you guys all so much for watching, and if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.